Hi, everybody. So, my dear friend, thank you for being in the studio. Did you ever, I want to know, have ever had your own supernatural encounter?
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yes, for sure.
Bullshit.
Hey, see, I come from a Peranakan background, which
Okay.
means from
Okay.
grandma to mother to everything in my life is attributed to the hantu. You sneeze, must be the hantu. Huh? You sick, must be the hantu. You fall down, hantu push you. Everything is the hantu.
Momok lah, bro.
Momok lah, okay
Momok
lah.
lah.
That's what we call
Peranakan
it.
boy must be momok lah. So let me ask you something. Your supernatural encounter that you had, can you just tell me what it is? Very quickly.
There were a few occasions, but most of the time, there's always that gray area. It may be, it may not be. But in 2012 to 2014, there were situations where no matter how logical you try to be,
Okay.
there is no way to explain it.
Okay. So you do have one.
I do have
A serious, real.
Okay, I'll tell you one very
Holy
serious.
shit kind of an encounter.
That's the one where my balls went out to my throat.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I went down 3 a.m. Right, because I was being called up to go to the house. And 9 out of 10 times when you go to visit a haunted location, you don't get anything at all, right? So same thing, 3 a.m. Someone called me up. I thought it was a responsible thing to do. I went down. It was a Catholic house, Christmas tree, father, mother, 2 kids. Clean house, not unlike any of the haunted house you would imagine.
Okay.
Mother Mary was on the altar.
Okay.
They said their house was haunted. So I
Okay.
walked in, and you usually do the whole, if there's any spirit here, show yourself. Typical.
No, come on.
Right.
Come on. Give me a freaking break, man.
But
Really?
As I said, 9 out of 10 times.
No. You walked into that house and you actually said that shit.
Yeah.
Like what you see on all the other TV shows I've watched anyway. Like ghostly encounters and all that kind of stuff.
Funny you mentioned that, Chris, because there is no course to learn about paranormal investigation. So all the education that we get.
Time for you to start one, man. Okay. Go on. I'm sorry.
And so I stood there in the hall. Right? As I said, it's Christmas tree, it's Christmas season, everything's
There's a
clean.
Catholic altar, it's a Catholic house.
Right?
And
If there's any entity here, show yourself. Mother Mary toppled balls.
no shit.
No shit. I saw their faces. They looked at me, and I said, "Okay, I'm called here to investigate. If I run out now, habis my reputation." So I told myself, must be the aircon blowing. The wind is strong. You would tell yourself anything just to steal yourself from fear. If that entity was you and you just toppled Mother Mary, show me another sign. The beads, the rosary burst all over the floor.
Oh, come
Really, bro.
Come on.
The family ran out. They said, "Here's the key. You can stay here tonight. I'm leaving." And that's actually a very famous incident that happened to me that really, till today, no matter what I've seen in life, that one is always scarred me for life.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there because we have lots to talk about today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of KWC. It is time to have Kopi with Chris. I'm Chris Henson, and today I have with me, as my Kopi Kaki in the studio, the master of the bogeyman, the Muppet maker of Annabelle, the makeover doctor for the Joker, the brain matter on the planet that created the spooky, out of this world popular podcast show, Supernatural Confessions, and not wearing his cassock because he shouldn't, because he just shouldn't. Eugene Tay. Thank you for being in the studio, my friend.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, I see. I'm gonna stay as a skeptic today. So that's why I'm still having my kopi while you go and drown yourself in
I've got the wrong
in
memo,
your grapes.
Chris. Well, Alvin told me it was kept safe with Chris.
Okay, thanks for changing the title of the show. Anyway, it is Kopi time with me. You can have your wine as much as you want. I'm going to stay sober because I'm going to try to debunk you today.
All right.
What's the scariest encounter you've had yourself? Is this that one you just told me?
That one would have been right up there on a scary meter, the highest for me so far, the most active haunting. But I remember my very first encounter. The ones that, I'm not talking about the time when I was a kid, right?
Right.
The one time where I couldn't debunk when I was an adult, that was in 2012 to 2014.
Okay.
Somewhere in between that time. And it was a period of my life where I was facing a lot of this kind of paranormal encounters. But as I said, most logical people, every time you are faced with something that you're afraid and you can't explain, you would try to shoehorn a logical explanation in, right? So there's this one time I threw flour on the floor, and I was afraid, and I was pissed off. So as a man, when you are afraid, you fight back. You throw temper, you shout, you use vulgarities. And I said, if you fucking are real and you are there, show yourself, walk towards me. Very gung ho, no? Oh, really like gangster, no? And then on the floor, I shit you not, Chris, footprints appear on the floor towards me. And that's where I go, I'm sorry. So I have 4 stages of how to deal with Hantu or momos.
Okay.
I'll teach you about that later.
Right. Okay. We'll talk about that later. But you know something? Come on. If you're gonna go out there deliberately to look for trouble, cari pasal, bo tai ji, cui tai ji. You go out there, you throw fucking flour on the floor, and then you keep. I mean, like, how could, to quote John McClane, how could the same shit happen to the same guy over and over again? I mean, look, you're going out there, you're deliberately finding these things.
See, that's the thing. I never look for them to begin with. They
come and look
my
for
land.
you.
That's right. And they keep coming back over and over for 2 years.
Fucking sit further away from me, man.
Yeah, it was no joke. Like 2 years straight. And then I thought after 2 years, I'm done. I got out.
Yeah.
But just as you thought you got out, they drag you back in. Since we're talking about movie quotes, I thought I might want to throw one in.
And I thought it was safe to go back into the water. Okay, enough of that bullshit. They drag you back in. So you're saying that where you are concerned, these things come and find you. Have you ever, being the guy that you are doing what you do, ever tried to discover how this sort of shit constantly happens to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and what was that?
So there are people who, their entire lives, they will never see ghosts. And there are people who have never seen ghosts for a big part of their life. And then all of a sudden, overnight, they can start to see.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing I can't understand.
Because if you start looking at things like cosmic energy or time of birth or feng shui or the 八字 or any of these spiritual beliefs,
right?
That your time of birth will determine your name, your time of birth, the place of birth will determine your entire.
That's 八字, right?
八字 is one of them.
Okay.
There's a few other beliefs and practices as well that revolve around time and name.
Okay.
So there was a certain point in time where you just unlock your power because of that moment of time where you are in space. And previously you have no experiences, and after that, all your experiences come in. And I'll share with you a story about a man who at the age of 23 had a sudden headache at the back of his head.
Okay.
Pounding headache, and he went to doctors, they couldn't solve anything.
Yeah.
And he went to MRI, perfect.
Let me guess. Something is sitting on his shoulder.
No.
Okay.
Not that scared. But it was a past life. It was a past life memory that he had.
He was a Native American Indian with an arrow stuck in his back.
Almost.
Okay.
But he was hammered in the back of the head and he died
Who?
at the age of 23. And he only found out about that when he went for past life regression.
Yeah, hypnosis.
Hypnosis,
I must tell you something about that. Before I'm going to stop you there. You know why?
Why?
Do you know? A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. But I am master certified clinical hypnotherapist.
No way.
I'm not kidding. What are you telling me about past life regression? What I said about the Native American Indian, he was a Native American Indian in his past life, and he had an arrow stuck in his back. I'm certified, bro.
From Coursera or Udemy?
I'm not going to go that far. I mean, I'm not going to try and sell something else now, but got to let you know that I understand everything about that. Okay. So he went through past life regression.
And then he saw in his vision that he was killed with a hammer to the back of the head.
Okay, yeah.
And so he went for therapy and with a hypnotic therapy.
Yeah.
And they said that you can let your past life go, and then all of a sudden, overnight, he just felt no more pain. So it was either a karmic impression or a past life memory that he brought to this life. So things like that do happen. So when we talk about why certain times in your life where you can start to see ghosts, it could be a past life, it could be your... You look totally not
Why do I say this? Despite the fact that I'm trained, despite the fact that I have seen people and I've hypnotized people and I've helped people, but I've always refused to work on past life regression.
Why is that so?
Simply because I'm Catholic and I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe in the resurrection.
But think about that, right? You have a human lifespan of just 90 years, give and take. 70, 90?
Well, 80 plus,
80
based
plus,
on
right?
mortality statistics today.
So,
85.
I refuse to believe that in the entire span of time in this universe that is so old, that we as a human soul has only about a drop of water in this entire cosmic world to prove ourselves valuable and worthy enough to go to heaven.
Man, you sound so new agey to me, man.
So I think there's always a cycle that goes through over and over again until you're ready to ascend.
So hang on. So what's your faith? Do you have a faith?
I just consider myself a very spiritual person. Like, I believe there's a higher power.
You're a hippie. You hippie, dude.
In the 70s, I would be a cult leader, man.
Yeah, in the 70s, you'd be growing a whole garden worth of pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, you can't do that, right? I hope you're not doing it. He's not doing it. Okay, you're not doing that. Okay. Got to say that because, So in this instance, you do believe that there's life after death.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. There is life after death.
Okay.
But how that life is after death is based on what people have said of how they have seen past life and then came back into
So
the body.
basically, you're saying that you are more of a believer of reincarnation then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you believe that, I can just imagine this.
Okay.
A person dies, he pops into the world again and he goes, oh, fuck, I'm back.
Something like that.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Something, yeah.
Wouldn't that suck so much?
So there are some people who believe that Earth, our life, is where hell is. This is purgatory. You
What?
keep going back over and over again until you learn how to ascend. And
Okay, so you're Buddhist.
I go to temple. I go to almost every single religious building except the mosque because I can't walk in, right? I'm not allowed to just freely walk in. But the Taoists, the Buddhists, the churches,
Are you confused?
I'm just all-encompassing, all-inclusive. Love one, love all.
Man, you're a hippie. Confirm on, you hippie. So basically, your basis in your belief where life after death is concerned is really based on the basis of reincarnation. That you get born again.
Yeah, you get born again.
That's your belief.
I did my own past life regression, and I was
Yeah. Tell me.
I don't want to toot my own.
You were a
horn.
gigolo. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I wish I was, but no. I was a prince. I was thousands of years ago. I was a royalty.
Where?
You're in the presence of royalty.
Bollocks. In which country?
Persia.
Huh?
I was a Persian prince.
You were from okay, you got screwed over by the Spartans.
I was killed by a woman actually.
Ooh.
And I think that's
you
quite
got,
apt.
You got screwed over by a Spartan woman.
Yeah, possibly.
Bloody wimp.
She killed me when I was in bed. That was a story.
Ooh.
Or rather, that's a story.
Something must have happened in bed before she decided to kill you.
So how the story goes is
Okay.
I was a Persian prince and I had
Right.
a whole court of concubine, and I took one of these women to be my concubine by force. She wasn't happy, so in bed she just took out her dagger and she stabbed me and planted a curse.
Served you damn right. Planted a curse. No. That bit. Wait, so she planted a curse. So how do you know about that curse, man?
So I went to and this was I think around the 2000 era, and there was this all holistic festival that was going around Fort Canning. You might remember that. There
No,
was-
I don't. I don't want to attend this guy. I know that I got certified a hypnotherapist. Doesn't mean that I actually go for this Reiki and all that kind of
No,
stuff.
you don't have to believe in Reiki to go for these festivals, but they were filled with hot girls, bro. That was the intention. back then.
Okay, next time I should find out more about that shit.
When I was younger, it was not this whole Reiki stuff or yoga stuff that I was concerned about, quite very
Yoga,
frankly,
okay.
right? I mean, I'm interested in yoga for other reasons.
Exactly, yeah, especially the hot ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the whole reason of going down for this holistic festival. There was this guy, trappings of an entire guru, long beard, whatnot, right? The beads and everything. I said, this guy looks like the legit stuff.
Okay.
Let's go to him. So I
What
walked.
makes you think that's legit? Just because he's got a long bushy beard and he got beads and all that stuff, and that's why he's legit?
Well, we all look at impression and image and packaging, right?
You see, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Let's say you look like a golf instructor and you come here today and you say
shut the fuck up, bro.
You're a guru.
I came here dressed in white because I'm worried about this guy coming in black, for fuck's sake.
You know I'm gonna come in black.
It's like, yep, I'm sort of. I mean, come on, look, dude. These creepy crawly things, creepy crawly, that's wrong. There's more insects, pests. These creepy, spooky shit that seem to be following you around. I mean, I have to wear white, at least get some purity in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some green, I got some green and some, well, that's not green. I had some red and white. Just make sure you stay away from me, dude. Yeah, okay. So that's why I dress like a golf instructor. Thank you so very much. Fucking hell. Okay, so yeah, and this is unusual, by the way.
Yeah, so I walked up to the guy
and
he asked me for my name and
the guru.
Yada. Yeah, so I'm going to give you the shortened version because it's a bit long. And I went up to him and he told me my past life. So I said, okay, that sounds very interesting. And he told me a lot of stuff that's very sensitive that I won't talk about it on air because then people who with negative intent would be able to track me down and attack my past life to get to me. It's a bit far out there, but that apparently can happen. So anyway, so I got all this information, like how you are sitting there right now. I went like, oh my God. All I took away from that was I'm a Persian prince with a whole harem of women. That was my takeaway. Harem of women, right?
Okay.
And so I went back home. I told my mom, hey, you know that the guru said when I was at 4 months in your womb, I was almost dead. And when I hit certain age in life, I almost died. Ha 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 ha. Is that true? And my mom, she's always going to be peranakan mother, right?
Yeah.
Alah, don't talk rubbish, mulut lu, buso sway.
Cakap sway semua.
She just paused while she was washing her dishes. I remember this because I was talking to her back, right, in the kitchen. And she, who told you that? I said, well, I spoke to this guru. And then she reconfirmed that when I was 4 months in the womb, she almost aborted me. And at the age of, I think, 4 or 5, I can't remember, and at the age of 12, I almost died. And then that's when she got for me certain things, and then I survived. So I said, hey, those dates are extremely accurate. And see, so what he told me was, and he said there was a curse. Remember I told you there was a curse? So I asked him, how do I remove the curse?
How did you know there was a curse to begin with?
He said he was a curse.
Oh, so this guru guy told you?
He told me everything.
Okay.
And so I sat there, literally just, and he said, these dates, there was a curse. I said, okay, so how do I get rid of the curse? Just have to be vegetarian for 9 Sundays.
For 9?
Sundays.
Okay.
That's it.
And then?
So a few thousand year old curse is gone just because I'm vegetarian.
How do you know it's gone?
That's what he said.
How do you know you were cursed to begin with? I would have just bought the guy a razor blade to have good shave.
I mean, so I didn't know, right? And I was just willing to go with the story anyway. And that's when the creepy stuff happened. Because people in my life who I don't know, strangers, who walk up to me and tell me, you know what needs to be done, but you're not doing it. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, because that was on the top of my mind, right? Of just being vegetarian. And in my heart, to be honest, it was like, fuck off. Right? So for a whole year, I tried to be vegetarian for 9 Sundays. I couldn't. And in that few months, people would come up to me while I was in a plane, while my neighbor would come up to me. People who are not connected says, I had a vision of you, and I'm supposed to tell you this. You know what needs to be done, but you're not doing it. The following year, the festival came around again.
And this guy came back.
So I thought, if I were to look at you today, you give me another bullshit story, I'll call you bluff. Right?
Okay.
So I queued up, walk up to him. He looked at me. He says, write your name. I write my name. He says, look at your palm. He looked at my palm. He looked at my face. You know what needs to be done, but you're not doing it. Boom! At that point, I became a believer.
A believer in what?
Of what he said the previous year.
Okay. So, how do you even start on this whole journey, man? I mean, there must have been a reason why you started off doing what you're doing.
Love. Not for the love or supernatural. I did it for a woman I love. I was about to marry her, in fact. We were, at that point in time, talking about marriage and stuff. And then something happened, and I was dragged into it. When I mentioned 2012, 2014. And I couldn't just walk away from that. I saw possession. I saw behavior that were hard to explain. You can possibly call it schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, or very good acting. She had all that.
She had all that.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia,
It looked like
multi-personality disorder.
She had multiple voices.
Good actor.
Yeah, multiple voices, multiple behavior. I mean, you got to be really
Good voice artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's that's not her career. That's not her path. That wasn't even a hobby to begin with.
But she just wasn't sounding like her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would walk with her hand in hand along Tambling Road.
Katong. Okay.
Right? Peranakan boy.
Of course.
And she would say, I can see it coming. It's there. And then she would unconscious.
Sorry, but I don't mean to make fun of this, but I can see it coming. It's like, I can hear it coming. I can see it coming. It's like a Genesis song, Phil Collins. Okay. I'm not trying to be funny. It just hit me. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I can hear it coming in the air tonight.
Not a fan of Genesis.
Okay. Good song anyway. So she said she can see it coming.
Yeah.
She can hear it coming. She can see it coming. Okay.
And
then?
And then she would just fall unconscious and she'll wake up and she'll be a different person.
No, so split personality.
That's what we all want to believe, right?
Uh-huh.
But as I said earlier in the conversation, I was brought up in a Peranakan household.
But you only think momok lah.
Everything is momo. Everything.
So, but she could genuinely be suffering from multi-personality disorder.
So, of course, being a modern citizen of today's environment, we don't have access to a neighbor who has a tangki who can give you the in the water.
Okay.
Right? So we went through the medical route first. We talked to shrinks. We talked to people.
So that was done.
That was done.
Okay.
For 6 months.
Right.
The verdict was maybe stress at work. All right. So
sounds fair.
Work gave her 2 months no pay leave. Just 2 months paid leave, not no
just
pay
to
leave.
chill.
Just to chill, right?
Okay.
Because some of the possession happened while at work and in front of eyewitnesses. And so the boss was like, okay, just if that's what the doctor said, take a chill pill and relax.
Right.
Every day. Because I was there, right? And I saw how she spiraled down from no one believing her to paranoia to all the stuff that comes with mental illness.
Okay. Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
we can see things like footprints on flour. We can have...
Oh, that was when you did that.
Yes. We can have TV turn on and off by itself.
Okay.
Her cross, her crucifix.
So she's Catholic.
Anglican.
Okay.
Yeah. And then would at night when she sleep, she will have lost it and she'll find it in a dustbin or under the bed. So again, you can try to explain the dustbin by at night, I pull it off, I sleepwalk, I throw it into the dustbin.
Right.
But how do you find it under a heavy mattress that you are sleeping on, that I'm sleeping on? You got to push me off.
Okay.
And as a small, petite girl, lift up the mattress and put it in the center. Not the side, but the center.
Oh, so it was found in the center of the mattress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of these things that when they happen, I couldn't explain. So I'm forced to then to look at the side where perhaps what I'm dealing with is not science.
Okay.
And so I asked permission from the parents. I said, okay, we have gone through the whole medical route, right? It's not working. Can I try something else?
Okay.
At that point of time, anything goes. Whatever. Just do what you think you need to do.
So the parents also felt that there was indeed something wrong with the daughter.
Yeah. Because when I recorded her voice and I played it back to the mother, I said, can you recognize this voice? She said, no, I can't. What is it talking about? Why so scary? Then is that my daughter? Because the mom was updated throughout the entire way. So they knew what was going on as well. I think at some point, everyone just started they didn't want to admit that it was supernatural, but it comes to a point where after 6 months or 7 months, and there's no sort of cure, but it got worse and worse and worse.
So it's denial. Then after that, they start to realize that. But on a daily basis, was she lucid, or is she more out of it all most of the time?
No, she's very normal at pockets of time. But when it hit her, when the things possess her, that's when for the next 2 hours she will just be in another world. Then when she comes back, she'll tell you, I'm extremely exhausted.
You just used the P word, man. So you really felt then that she was being possessed by some entity or some sort.
Yeah. And I knew she was possessed from the very get-go, but I didn't want to believe in it.
Right.
And we want it to be as medical as possible, because if it's medical, we can solve. If it's legal, we have the law. But if it's spiritual, then it's all based on faith and belief and
So you decided to take this on out of your love for her.
yeah.
And then in the end, just to get this, just so we can move the show along,
Yeah.
what happened? You took her
So
to
we
get
went,
something done for her.
yeah. So we went through a gauntlet of different spiritual masters.
Okay.
Right. In that 2 years, I've probably seen more than 30. To date, I think I've seen more than 100. So sometimes when I hear certain things, based on pattern and pattern alone, not that it's about reality, I can try to pick up and suss out who is the ones who are bullshitting, who are the ones that are the real deal.
Right.
Yeah. So to push the story forward, 2 years later, we managed to solve that problem. Somehow I was involved with the help of various spiritual masters. And I like to think that she is safe today, but that's not going to be forever. Because the spirits and entities that was hounding her came from past life. And this is just one life. So when you talk about reincarnation and you talk about, do I believe in stuff like that? It's hard for me to disbelieve in that because of all the things I've heard and seen and know.
So no exorcism actually occurred.
No. We tried once,
With?
the Anglican side of things.
Okay. It's so strange.
Yeah. Because the Catholic wouldn't want to help us because we're not Catholic.
You guys tried with the Catholics.
I went to Novena Church. I was told, no go.
Okay. I can understand the reason why too. Anyways. All right. So somehow or rather, you guys you managed to get someone or some people
Yeah.
to help.
Yeah.
Because in my belief is that, I'm Catholic, of course I have to, I do believe that there is life after death. I do believe that we all have a soul. Do you believe that people have a soul?
Yeah.
But you believe in reincarnation. How could that be?
Exactly, because you have a soul. What you see, this skin, this good-looking skin, is just one lifetime. My soul lives on.
For a moment there, my pulse popped up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So you're saying that reincarnation still involves a soul being transferred to an organic body.
That's right.
Okay.
Have you heard of some of the stories, anecdotal evidence, not proven by science, but anecdotal evidence of people who reincarnated and remember their past? There were some famous names. I can't remember offhand. An Indian lady, very famous story, a white guy who was a pilot, a World War pilot before that. Both were reincarnated and could remember the exact details of their past, the village and everything. And this was pre-internet days. There was no way the child could go click on Google Maps and try to learn and then spout all this information. But she could tell the teacher, look, I was a wife of this man. I died at childbirth. This was where I stayed. And she knew all the lingo and all the words and all the places and all the names. And she was like, what, a young girl, like 5? And eventually they decided to just test out her theory. And I think Mahatma Gandhi was involved as well in this one. It's all on Google. I'm not making this shit up. They brought her with the news crew to the village and she identified everyone.
Right.
And she could even see, this is my old house. It used to be yellow and not white. And she can even tell her husband where she hid her money in the backyard.
Just to be clear, I'm not dissing anyone's belief in reincarnation because the Buddhists believe in it. I know for a fact that the belief is even stronger when it comes to the Dalai Lama and how the Dalai Lama keeps reincarnating in younger children as the centuries roll by. I'm not dissing that, yeah? Just that, but I have my beliefs.
Yeah.
And then you said just now that based on past life regression, your girlfriend, did you marry her?
No, I did not.
Okay. You went through all that trouble, you didn't marry her.
The truth is, at the end of it all, it was just hard to see her because it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, I couldn't see her the same way.
So you had
her.
PTSD from this.
And that's why I wrote a book. It's a form of closure for me.
We'll talk about that book later on. So you didn't marry her, but the reason why I raised that is because you mentioned that based on past life regression, something was offended before, right? And then therefore disturbing her now in this life. And to me, that is a spirit thing, right? You mentioned the word spirit. But I'm always of the belief that possession normally happens because a demon does it. And demons are not spirits, man.
I don't mention the word demon very often. I usually use the word spirit because it's a bit more palatable to people. Right?
It is what it is.
The minute I say demon, people's mind, the audience is going to go, that's Hollywood. That's Conjuring level. That's movie level.
Bollocks. Demons are demons. Ghosts and spirits are ghosts and spirits.
So you know the different levels.
Of course I fucking know the difference.
Right. But
Demons are from the depths of freaking hell, dude. They are the minions of Satan.
this, I believe, was a demon.
Okay. That clears my curiosity. Now that we're on this topic of hell, let's talk about other things. Do you believe in God then?
I have to if I believe in demons and in angels and devils.
Now I'm really screwed. Okay, so you believe that there's reincarnation.
Yeah.
And if you believe in reincarnation, means it is more towards the realm of Buddhism. But then you say you believe in God.
Okay. I see where I see where you're confused.
Oh yeah, because God is resurrection, and Buddha is reincarnation. So how does this happen? I mean, it's interesting. That's why I think you're confused.
Chris, this is a great show because no one have ever asked me that question before. It's a good question.
It's me. Okay.
You see religion as almost a structure, siloed, separated from each another, right? There's the Buddhist belief, which you disagree but respect, and there's different, like there's a whole buffet table spread of different religious beliefs. I see the entire universe as one big cosmic energy. There is that one. And how we see that one and how we label that one with a different name comes from different religion, different cultures.
Right.
But there is a higher power.
A universal vibration.
Now it sounds like I need a singing bowl and I need to dance naked in the moonlight.
Yeah, I enjoyed that when I was in Lombok, man. When I went for a massage and ding.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so we
you
talk
got
about
a tingly sensation, you know?
a lot of this religion and this beliefs and practices sees the world with vibrations and energy. So you say vibrations, that's pretty much how I
The Beach
subscribe
Boys,
to.
man, good vibrations.
Telling of our age.
Shut up, dude. Don't worry about it. You're still far younger than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do believe there is a God by any other name, but there is that big guy.
There is that big guy,
That big
the
guy.
big boss in the sky.
And when we look at different paths way down from that big guy, different doctrines, different beliefs, there's always the feminine energy, the male energy, there's a Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the Trinity, in different forms,
Okay.
right? And I like to believe, as I said, this is not like me trying to force a belief down your throat, but I like to believe that all these various religions at some point in time, they tend to cross over.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And here's where I'm going to tell you what I think about religion, okay? Not offensive to anyone, but I just think this works out best. God understands that if he just gives you one template and one template alone, it's not going to work because there's different types of people in the world. So he gives you 9 different styles of belief that you want to. So you like the whole idol worshipping thing? Okay, you know what? We've got that for you as well. Here you go. This religion is for you. You don't like idols? Okay, we got this for you as well. Hey, sing a song. You like rock concert and putting your hands in the air and pump it up? Okay, you know what? We're going to call you this. So kind of, yeah.
I'm leaning further and further away from this man. Obviously, you haven't read the Old Testament where he got so angry over the Israelites, idol worshipping, and then
Yeah, see, but there's also the Greek mythology and I'm going to go into this
You're
whole.
confused, man. Okay, so now you're gonna tell me about there's Zeus, the Greek mythology, the Greek god, the head of all the gods, Zeus, and then the Romans came about and said, no, Zeus's name is Jupiter. What else is gonna go in between, man? I mean, there's a myriad worth of beliefs that over the centuries, from ancient Mesopotamia heading down to now.
So there's so many ways.
I mean, you can believe in a lot of things. There's this evil female goddess named Lilith, which is also shown on Supernatural, the TV show, for goodness sake. I mean...
And Diablo.
Okay. I mean, there's so many of these things, dude. There's all these things. If you put a whole mishmash of the whole of the world's religion, including Hinduism, you put everything all in. It's just gonna mess with your mind.
So, yeah, but
now I know why these things are following you, man.
maybe because I know the truth and they want to get to me to tell you.
Come on.
No.
This sounds like the X-Files, man. The truth's out there. Whoa.
That's a very nice reference because some people have compared me to
Okay, Mulder.
Sure thing, Scully.
Oh, bollocks. I don't wear her bra.
Oh, remember that time? She is hot, man, back then.
Back then, now you mean she's not hot anymore? We're talking about who now? Gillian and Anderson. Yeah, that's right.
Remember the FHM cover? Where
she was a hot redhead, man. Okay, enough of that stuff. And enough of the heavy stuff for just a bit. Let's just deviate just a little bit. That camera over there, that one is your camera. If you take a look into that camera, can you tell the audience, my audience, in your own words, don't speak in tongues, please, who you are and what you do?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eugene Tay, and I'm a solution strategist by day, and by night, I'm a storyteller of everything supernatural.
Solution strategist, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that actually?
Basically, you come to me at a problem, you're a client. You come to me and say, hey, I've got this problem, solve it for me. And I said, okay, you pay me the money, I'll be very creative, I'll give you an ingenious answer. And then you go, wow, that's freaking awesome. Here, take my money. And that's how I make a living.
Really?
Yeah.
I tell you what, we can work together, man. I can be the problem-causing strategist. Then you can have all the problems I caused and you come there and exercise them all.
Bad cop, good cop, we split it down the line.
So basically, you are problem solver lah.
Yeah.
You exercise all these problems.
Exercise.
Right. You have your own podcast show, Supernatural Confessions. It's a community.
That's right.
That people send their stories, their spooky stories, right? About the supernatural.
That's right.
Are these stories true?
Well, I don't care.
What?
That is truth.
I mean, you don't want to debunk some shit?
Well, what we do is we don't quite debunk. We don't call it a debunk, but I'll get to that in a bit. But why this platform was set up in the first place and why I don't put my own personal belief and judge their story is, quite frankly, I've been down a road where no one believed me, but I believe in myself. Whether I'm right and wrong at the end of the day and to my dying bed, I'm going to believe I'm right. And there's nothing no one can tell me to change my mind. And that's what pretty much reality is these days on the internet.
Okay.
Right?
So nobody's going to change your mind, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you, because I told you from the beginning, from the get-go of the shoot,
Yeah.
this show, that I'm going to sit down here and try to debunk you and be skeptical about everything.
Sure.
Now I'm going to give you this one shot.
Okay.
How would you convince me that ghosts exist?
I wouldn't for the life of me try to convince you in any way. Jesus Christ can come down tomorrow, walk on water, change your water to wine. There will still be people who don't believe that. So what chance do I have to convince anyone at all of something that you don't believe in?
I didn't say I didn't believe in it. I just said it convinced me. Convince me. If you can convince me on this show, then you'll be convincing a lot of people who watch this episode.
But that's the thing. Short of me calling in something here that you can experience, which I can't because I'm not a voodoo doctor who take my blood, ancient one, and come down and with a bunch of smoke coming up. I can't do that.
The answer you gave just now, man, Eugene, you said, and you know what? It was a damn good example. I gotta admit, I like that. That even when Jesus was on this earth, people didn't believe him either. Right? And even if he were to come down again, would people believe? But I believe that he comes down, and that's the second coming of Christ. That's it. Everyone has to believe because it's going to be really believable. But based on that example you gave, it was a very good example, historically speaking, biblically speaking. But really, that's something you've been using to answer questions like mine ever since you started your show, right?
Because sitting right here with you, between you and I think, honestly, you're the luckier one.
Why am I the luckier one?
You don't have to be scarred. You don't have to go through life with the burden, knowing that somewhere behind that door in the dark, there's something that you can't see, and it's there.
Okay.
When the lights are off and you walk through the door, you just walk through the door. There's nothing there for you.
Yep.
But people like us who have gone through experience, every dark corner, every whisper in the night, every marble dropping.
Okay, then let me just change it this way. Let me change what I've just said and asked you in this fashion. Actually, I am not the one you have to convince. Okay? I have my stories and I have my encounters, but I'd like you to really find a way where people watching the show will say in an instant, shucks is right.
For years, for centuries, no one has ever done this. And I'm supposed to do this in 5 minutes. I'll try.
Try.
Let not be say that Kopi with Chris show is a lot of bollocks and no substance. I'm going to try today
Excuse me?
to pull this off.
Have people said that? Kopi,
No, I mean-
Chris has got his bollocks and no substance?
And that's why I'm here, to add more substance to what's already very rich.
Excuse me?
So what I'm trying to say is, you guys who have never had any paranormal experiences, you believe in something called intentions?
No, I'm so stuck on Kopi and Chris being a lot of people saying that it's bollocks and no substance.
Say that lah. I'm just saying, if anyone's out there saying that,
Cross
we
that
actually-
hurdle first.
Okay. They'll probably won't be watching the show to begin with.
I beg pardon?
For those people who don't believe
Uh-huh.
in Kopi with Chris,
Yeah.
they're not going to watch the show to begin with. So your fans already believe in you and love you.
Okay.
And we're going to bring this show to Supernatural Confessions as well.
Now, his confusion just got on to me, man. Okay. Yeah. All right. So debunk this thing.
Debunk?
Well, basically, convince people.
Someone once said to me, and I'm going to borrow this line from that person. Around us, there's air. You can't see air, you can't feel, you can't touch. But science over time has proven that air exists. But when you breathe in air, you can't say it doesn't exist. The thing about the paranormal world is it has not been discovered yet. Science has not reached its level where it can prove the supernatural world.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Back 100 years ago, there were things that were not discovered yet. But today, those have become truth. So give yourself, or allow yourself the option to think big. Instead of saying no, right? Say maybe. Because who knows that in 3 lifetimes from now, when you reincarnate, you might find a world where they have managed to prove the supernatural have existed.
Okay. I would just say, again, let me make it quite clear. I'm not the one that needs convincing, dude. I want to make sure that people who watch this episode, right, will somehow stick to it and listen to your experience and what you feel the supernatural is all about. And that for these people to actually believe that, that other worldly creatures exist on our plane of existence. Okay? Now, there's no need to convince me, lah. And also say that my show is...
No lah.
Okay.
Sensitive.
What is, of course, for fuck's sake, what is the most common type of supernatural encounter that you guys usually receive? Or the most common thing that people do write in about more often than not?
Haunted houses, poltergeist activities, possession, spotting of Pontiana. There's a whole laundry list of stories that I receive.
Have you guys ever done a statistical check and see via data of all the stories that you receive, which is the one that really sticks out more than most in Singapore?
Offhand, I've not done the tabulation for this, but the one that comes to mind is I think I saw something in the dark.
Okay.
Right? Can be at home, can be at work.
Right.
I hear the door creak. I hear a shadow moving. I hear someone touching me. Sleep paralysis seems to be a very common thing.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
It's when you fall asleep, you wake up, right? But your body can't move. You can't move your limbs. Your eyes open. You're awake. And sometimes, for most of them who suffer from sleep paralysis, they hear voices. They see demons. And to them, that is very real. But however, science say that there is an explanation why you can't move. It's called sleep paralysis, where your mind is awake but the rest of your body is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that's a condition, isn't it? That happens to most people.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how some people want to believe.
What is your mom, who's Peranakan, actually says about it? I'm sure you've spoken to her about
Yeah, I
this before.
did.
I have. I've spoken to my mom about
What
it.
did she say?
She says spider web went over you, or spider went over you.
The demonic spider.
Demonic spider? No, she meant real spider. And I just had this 2 weeks ago. Twice in 2 nights.
Do you hear anything?
Yeah, of course.
Voices, whispers?
I wasn't even just hearing, man. I was wide awake, but I wasn't where I was. I was
You
somewhere
gotta
else.
tell me that now.
And surrounded by a lot of people.
Okay, I'm going to try to decipher and dissect your experience. Go on.
Why?
Just to tell you whether that is like supernatural or not.
Well, I think it was because I was surrounded by people who are not here anymore. I recognize some of them. I don't remember exactly who, but there was a whole multitude of people that I don't know. Okay. And I was surrounded by them. It was freaky because it didn't feel right. So I tried to make a noise. I couldn't. Eyes wide open. But I wasn't where I was. I left. I was lying on my bed before this all happened.
Okay.
And then after a while, I did manage to come out. And then I got up and I said, shucks, I came back. What the hell was this?
How?
Yeah. Then after that, I laid back down again. The moment I did, poof, it happened again.
And what did you see this time? Same thing, recurring?
Different place, different landscape, different people, but all around me.
Okay.
But it was a lovely landscape, though. There was a tree. There was grass, nice pasture, sky, daytime. This happened at night, just to let you know. And then I knew this wasn't right. It's not right. So I started praying, and then I came back. It was 9 p.m.
What time did you go to bed?
9 p.m.
So time did not pass for you.
I don't really know. I didn't check the time after the fact, but I went to bed at 9 p.m. And the moment I hit the sack, it happened. And the lights were all on. My room lights were on. I didn't switch them off yet.
So I'm going to ask
I was extremely tired anyway.
So I'm going to ask you. So contrary to belief, I don't always jump straight into believing it's a hantu all the time.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you real questions that I would ask my interviewees when they tell me that they have a paranormal encounter like that. Did this happen just one time, or did it recur every other day?
No, the last time I had this, I was in national service. I'm 51 now. I've not had this since then. Yeah. So it's been years, man. It's been like 30 years.
Were you thinking of anything in the day that would lead you to start?
I think of a lot of things in a day.
But to people who are no longer around, your families, your friends?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I wasn't particularly disturbed or stressed by anything.
So you mentioned that you were tired.
Yeah.
So for this kind of scenario, it's very difficult for me to jump in and quantify and say, it is, without a doubt, a paranormal encounter. Because there are so many elements at play here, like your fatigue, that you could just conjure up stuff, your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Right? And frankly, when you are lying down to sleep, there could be dreams, nightmares, and all matter of things that is not paranormal related.
But I can tell you one thing for you, Fang La.
Yeah.
Okay. This was something that I've had these sort of sleep. What's the word for it again?
Paralysis.
Sleep paralysis before.
Yeah.
And this was different. This is far different from the rest. The rest I've had when I was in my teens were far more terrifying. I can easily tell you those were terrifying. This one was scary, but it wasn't terrifying. But I knew for a fact that it wasn't a psychological affair. It was not, because I wasn't where I left. The last thing I knew when I was on the bed, in my bedroom, with the lights switched on, and the next thing I knew, I'm not there. I'm somewhere else.
but in your hearts of hearts, you know that this is real.
Yep.
And that is the same case for most people with paranormal experiences.
Okay.
They believe, without a doubt, that what they felt was real, even if no one else believes.
So you see, I'm not the one to be convinced.
Yeah.
Here we go. I just want to make sure that other people are convinced. Could it just be that there, since this sleep paralysis has most airtime at the top of your head, that is the most popular one, the most popular story you get. Okay. And what do you think? Do you think that this is something supernatural?
To be honest, I believe that most sleep paralysis cases, they are supernatural in nature. They hear voices, they see things. And that's not just waking up and your body is asleep. Some of them actually have bruises on their hands and their legs.
So the physical manifestations.
Physical manifestations. So how can you just blanket everything into, it's just signs? So yeah, maybe, right? When you talk about supernatural, it's always the maybes, the gray areas. Maybe there are some people who wake up and their body can't move, and that's clinical sleep paralysis. But there are also other people who are choked, who are pinned down, who have seen things in the room and they can't move. That's not your garden variety sleep paralysis.
That is infestation.
But when you wake up and there's no physical evidence, you can't convince anyone of your experience. I mean, you tell someone, especially when you start off your conversation with, I was asleep, I woke up, I can't move, and I saw this. Oh, sleep paralysis lah. And then you just get shut down and you don't want to talk anymore because whoever you're talking to no longer validates your experience, whether it's real or not. And so what we do with Supernatural Confessions is we don't judge your story for being real or not. We just say, come on the show, tell your story, because look, you're not getting paid. There is no fame involved. It takes effort to write a story. Why would you want to go through all that for no ROI? So who am I to sit here and judge your story and say it's fake? It's real to you, so just talk about it.
Okay, so why did you start Supernatural Confessions?
I started as a way to overcome my own experiences. Because I couldn't tell anyone, I couldn't talk to anyone. People thought I was crazy. Those who did think I was crazy sat there and looked at me and not know what to say anything. Like I was telling my friend, I was like, 3 hours of conversation. And I said, so how? He goes like, wow, bro. Wow, interesting. I said, you believe me? Yeah. And that was it. So I found that I didn't get a way to overcome my past experiences. So I wrote a book. It's the only way I know how to have a closure. I wrote it in a way that it's a narrative, middle, start, and end.
Okay.
I closed the chapter, published it, put it on the shelf, and I was done. I was ready to move on with life. And when people bought the book, it went to bestseller at one point in time in Kinokuniya. And people said, hey, I had similar experiences. I have similar experiences. Can I just share with you? I just need to talk to someone. So then all of a sudden there's this whole digital kumbaya. Everyone's like holding digital hands and hearing stories and sharing stories.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Eugene. I'm a supernatural survivor and this is my story. Oh, thank you, Eugene.
So you're giving people a platform for them to air their experiences. Can people still buy this book? What's the title of this book?
Supernatural Confessions.
Okay, so it is called Supernatural Confessions as the show.
Yeah, so it's sold because it came from the book, and then the platform came after the book.
Okay, can people still buy it?
It's sold out right now. I have just like a stack of 100 books left. In my own collection, and I'm happy to sell that away.
How would people be able to buy it?
Go to my website supernaturalconfessions.com. Click on the shop. You can buy the book. And
all right.
The next time I see you, I'm going to give you one.
Thank you very much. We've come to this part of this is going to be my final question before I go into what we call a quick fire segment.
All right.
I'd like to give you an opportunity. When we started the show, I asked you to share one of the scariest stories that ever happened to you. Right? Can you give me I hope that's not the top one, the top of the top scariest story that you have encountered, or maybe perhaps even from someone who contributed to your site. So try and scare us right now.
you made me pull down my pants at the start of the show, asking me the scariest encounter, and now you're asking me for another scary encounter.
Well, it might not be yours. It might not be yours. It might be something that someone contributed.
Okay.
Give us some nightmares.
This story is confessed by William.
Okay.
It happened somewhere in Malaysia, and he was traveling to this location to train. He was going to be there for 1 month. The company sent him there, and they booked an apartment. So there were 3 people in that apartment, right? Each one had 1 room.
Right.
And when he walked to the place, he could hear music from the next door neighbor. It's like, okay, that's weird. It's sounding like a old Chinese radio. But hey, you're in Malaysia in a old apartment. Maybe there's an old lady staying there. You walk in, the curtains are all drawn. The place is musky. It seems like no one has stayed there for a while. Obviously, it's cheap. That's why the company rented the whole apartment for them to stay. He walked into his room, first room, and he says, "Oh, this seems a bit weird." But the other 2 colleagues who have stayed in that apartment before, quickly picked their own rooms and they stay. They went in, right? And there's an old-fashioned standing mirror with a red cloth covering it. Those old vintage wooden one, pretty like yee-high, a red cloth over it.
Right.
So he, like most of us modern people, will not think about the paranormal on the first hand.
Okay.
Unlike me and my grandma, right? So he walked in, he's like, oh, old place, sure. He lied down, okay? He went off for dinner, he showered, everything. He came back. So he remembered very clearly. He opened up the curtains of the whole room and the whole place because sunlight come in, air the place. It's musky, right?
So this was the daytime?
Yeah, they landed in the day.
Okay.
When they came back in the evening, everything's all closed again. There's only 3 of them. It's like, did you close? No, I didn't close because remember we opened it up.
This was an apartment, not a hotel.
No, it's an apartment because they're going to be there for a month. So they rented an apartment.
Right. So there's no housekeeping then?
No. I was like, okay. Remember, don't think much about it. Maybe one of us did but forgot. Open up again.
Right.
That night when he was sleeping, sleep paralysis happened.
Okay.
The only difference is he saw something on top of his chest.
Sitting on his chest.
Pinning him down.
Okay.
It had 4 hands. So 2 hands were pinning him down. One was holding onto his body or to his chest. And the other one did this. And he prayed and he prayed and he prayed and he prayed, right? After a while, he could move again. He ran out of the room. And when he ran out of the room, his other friend opened the door and said, come in, come in, come in, come in. And then they slammed the door and they stayed in one room, right? Later on, he said, why did you open the door, right? He found out she had a nightmare of him being attacked in that room at the same time that he was attacked. And so when she opened the door to look out for him, he ran out at the same time.
Right.
And then he came in. And there were bruises, there were hand marks. So how do you explain the hand marks as well? And when he was staying in a room with her, later on in the day, she finally confessed, the reason I didn't stay in that room, and I took this, was I stayed there in that room before and I got disturbed. But the only thing that is troubling for them is they have to stay there for an entire month.
Oh, crap.
And they found out that the next door neighbor that they thought was an old lady with playing the old Chinese music, there were no neighbors. There was no one staying around that apartment.
Right. So this thing apparently just goes into that particular room and not the rest.
Just that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that story, man. We come to the quick fire segment right now. I'm going to ask you quick questions. Give me quick answers. Ready?
Yep.
We've heard of jinns, puntianas, hantu tetes.
I like that one.
If you were the first to encounter a ghost and got to name it, what would you name it?
Oh, shit. That's a tough one. To name a ghost after me.
What? I mean, you can name a ghost. It doesn't have to be after you. Just name a ghost.
I would like to see all these ghosts are all female. I want to see a male ghost. I call it a Hantu Kopi.
Okay. Which school did you go to?
Singapore Poly, Loyang Secondary, Nottingham Trent University, Temasek Primary School.
That's one school. Bugger, give me the whole damn list.
Bethesda Kindergarten.
Okay. Name one weapon you'd bring with you into a ghost fight.
A nail.
Really?
A nail.
Why?
In a lot of Asian folklore, metal or iron is what would scare the ghost away. And in the law, the apex Asian mythical creature is the Pontianak. She's afraid of a 6-inch nail.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is okay. Let me ask you: if to bring a nail,
Yeah.
in terms of Asian folklore, because it's iron, right? Would the same apply to other parts of the world, like Europe or the US?
So I've always had that problem, right? Where if I go to overseas, in Europe especially, I don't think I will find a Hantu Tete or a Pontianak over there. I might find a headless phantom from...
So you're telling me that the variants differ from continent to continent? I
apparently...
mean, there are different ghosts and entities that found in different continents of the world?
Because my belief is that the ghost that you see is based on your belief. So if I'm Asian, I would perceive the spirit as what I fear the most.
Okay.
Long black hair, white gown, right?
Okay.
And if we understand that everything in the universe is vibrations and energy patterns, I then layer my belief, which is a template of my culture, onto that spirit. So I might see a Pontianak in Europe, but a European might see a phantom.
Okay. Next question. Favorite sport and favorite team?
Wrestling. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ooh.
That's not a team.
Austin 316.
Says, I just whoop your ass.
So it's wrestling, huh? And Steve Austin. If you could go destroy one ghost or demon forever, which one would it be?
I would destroy the bent back lady that gave me hell for 2 years, and that was the demon that was haunting my ex-girlfriend.
How do you know it was a bent back lady? Okay, from regression, you discovered it was a bent back.
She saw this lady going around neighborhood with a bicycle and a basket of dead fetuses, and he was collecting souls from door to door. Or at least that's how she perceived this demon. So that's the one I would want to get rid of.
And it's still around.
Still around. You don't, like energy, you don't destroy energy. It goes from one form to another. Same thing with demons. They just will be there for the end of time.
Okay, here's the next question, yeah? Get ready for this one. A quick answer. This one must be really quick. Lawrence Wong or Ong Yi Kang?
Ong Yi Kang.
Okay. Wow, good. I'm a fan of the guy. Next question. Why did a ghost take his new girlfriend to his hometown? Because he wanted his boo to see his old haunts. Stupid joke. Okay. Okay. Just before you go, Eugene, please tell the audience where can they find you and find out more about what you guys do. Please do plug all your socials, everything you want. Shameless plug. Now's your chance. Please do it.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the best place to get to know what I do and read all the stories that you want to read about Supernatural is to go straight to supernaturalconfessions.com. We are on Facebook page, Facebook group, not so much Instagram because I'm not at that era yet. But all you can find is on our website. And send your confessions to us. Don't worry, you want to be anonymous. We'll protect your identity. And we promise you a safe place to tell your confessions. Because what we want to do at Supernatural Confessions is to destigmatize supernatural experiences.
You should have me in your show, man. I cross over and I tell you all about my experiences.
I'm going to have you. You're going to be on Supernatural Confessions because I'm going to get your story.
I've got too many. Okay, so just to let you know that, I'm a believer. Okay? Thank you very much for watching this episode of KWC Kopi with Chris. And once again, Eugene Tay, my Kopi Kaki for this episode. Until next time, stay safe, stay away from the spooky things, and stay sane. Bye-bye, everyone.